my fucking
What
god,
the fuck?
mate! Can you even believe this is happening?
And you even, do you know what? I've just thought,
What?
I forgot that we need to build hype, don't we?
Mate, build hype. I just fucking scream like a banshee.
Yeah,
for
no,
10
but we
seconds.
can build hype, right? By fucking doing something else, mate. Use one of these, yeah? Because I can still use mine. And
Yeah.
we shit. We don't shit though.
I mean, I shit
Yeah,
quite
look who the fuck
frequently.
I'm with. Shit, I forgot to change the camera angle. Look who it is!
Right,
It's
it's
happening
fucking
again.
bean cells. It's fucking bean cells. It's been too long, and
It's
this is the
been too
podcast
long.
where Beanie Boys banter about brutal bops. What the fuck is going on?
What the
It's
fuck?
me, Manny, and him, Shaun.
How's
Good
it been?
grief.
It's been a while. It's nearly been a year. 6 more days. 6 more? 8? 6 more days, and it would have been a year.
Yeah, I couldn't let it get to that point. Like it felt actually ridiculous for it to fucking carry on. I mean, so to get this out of the way, it's basically been my fault that the fucking podcast has kind of like fell flat on its ass just because of life being lifey. But we're back at it now. Well, all of a sudden, we just came to the conclusion like there's no reason for us not to record, not to get some fucking chat on the way, and to just talk about some tunes and be dickheads. Yeah, no, much has changed since we last
A lot
recorded, man.
has
Much has
changed.
changed.
Should we
You
update?
tell me some of the things that have changed in your life.
Well, first of all, the hair's grown out quite. It used to curl hair, now it's hair.
Yeah.
What else the fuck has happened in my life? I'm in a new two-piece grindcore band. If like anyone who's watching doesn't know that already, but yeah,
With the drummer of the band that I'm in,
yeah, the bassist of the band that you're in, and now I'm
the
gonna be
fucking
playing
bass.
drums for your band. I'm gonna be
I'm an
playing
idiot.
drums
Yeah,
for your band now as well.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So
no, because obviously I was thinking of him as the drummer for Crack Dealer, and obviously, yeah, no, the bassist of my band is playing drums in this man's band,
yeah,
and
two-piece
I
grindcore.
think Crack Dealer live. They fucked up an entire room of metalheads. They didn't know what to make of them because that's
Yeah,
just
exactly.
how
It was
brutal
too
we're
much. It
talking.
was just too much for like the people that we played for, aside from like our friends. And that
Yeah,
was
no,
it.
exactly. We were at the front representing and moshing,
Yeah,
obviously.
you
You know
watch
what I
back that
mean?
video, man, and like everyone's like, most people are just there, like, and there's a few people in the front just like, there's even you acting like
Yeah,
you knew the lyrics. You were just
obviously,
scream like when there were the slower
as a
songs,
bit
you were
of
screaming.
background, right? Yeah, as a bit of background. So this man plays guitar and does vocals in a two-man grind project with Jack, who plays bass in Wimstone. And I went to go see them at Metal to the Masses, which is like a thing that's held every year where bands can enter for the chance to play at Bloodstock, and it's like a battle of the bands kind of thing where there's different like things, and they entered amongst. It was meant to be. Wasn't it meant to be 4 other bands playing, and it turned out
Yeah,
to
it
only
was
be
meant to be
3?
4. Yeah.
Yeah, because one of them had to pull out, I think, because of an illness or something. So, and the all the other bands were good, but the other bands were a form of straight ahead metal, which not complaining. I particularly was it Dying Vision.
Yeah, Dying Vision. Yeah, they were the more like straight death.
I really like Dying. I thought Dying Vision were fucking cool. I thought they were very, very good. But these were all some very straight ahead sort of metal bands. And then you guys came on and legitimately like played, the shit you write, which is like
Oh, is this my food?
fucking like just noise inflicted grindcore with a sludge element. What's going on, Natalie?
You're gonna be in the beginning of the new Bean Sauce video.
It's lunchtime.
It is
It
lunchtime.
wouldn't be a Bean Cells podcast without an interruption from Sean's mum, to be honest. It wouldn't be. No, clearly not.
Okay.
So no, this is the point in which I know that this podcast is fully back on track again.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to keep on with your story, my guy? Do you want to keep on with your story?
So yeah.
Yeah.
So Crack Dealer play, and it's noise influenced grindcore with a sludge element. Would you say that's what it is? Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd say that's what it is,
I'd say
right?
the first few
And
things were a bit more like noisy. I mean, there's still gonna be noise on like the next thing that we put out, but like
yeah,
they're kind of changing a little bit. Well, we're changing. Sorry, not they are. Fucking hell, I'm in the band. We're kind of changing it a bit. So like,
yeah,
not to spoil too much, but there's gonna be like two releases very different from each other. Like, hopefully sometime soon, the first one
no.
will come out, and like, um, so basically, to put it simply, one of the releases is gonna be like all of Jack's ideas. And one of the other releases is going to be like my ideas because they're two like vastly different to put on the same release. If that makes sense.
So essentially, this is going to be like crack dealers. Like there's that one Outcast album that like it's a double album, and one of them is purely Big Boy, and the other one is purely Andre 3000. So
Hmm.
this is going to be like what? Wait, let me just Google that what that's called. So this is going to be crack dealers' version of that one fucking that one Outcast album. Fantastic. I'm genuinely psyched because
Yeah.
that is no. That sounds fucking proper. I mean, if you guys haven't checked out Crack Dealer yet, I mean, if you haven't checked out Wombstone yet, like if you like grindcore and you haven't listened to our bands and you'll listen to this
Yeah.
podcast, you're weird.
However,
Like I
though,
don't know why you
my
haven't.
guy, listen, Crack Dealer, the demo we have out now, absolute wank. There's not
It's
that
not
much gold on
wank.
there. It just
It's
sounds
not
so
wank.
bad.
It's a demo. It's a
Exactly,
fucking
it is a
demo.
demo to be fair.
But it's a fucking good time. It will fuck your shit up.
Yeah, but the
It's
live stuff,
more
like the new stuff we're writing, it's gonna blow that shit out of the water, in my opinion.
as it should, as it
I
fucking
mean,
should.
you've heard the new stuff that we're making, anyways. 'Cause it's like we played most of it at Mail to the Masses, because otherwise we would have had 8 minutes of music. So
Yeah,
I
no,
had to write like 15 songs in 1 month.
of course, you know, I mean, of course you fucking did. But yeah, the set of the metal to the masses. I mean, I had a fucking great time because I was just raging the fuck out, and there was literally like the first row of about like 6 people who were all obviously mates, just going in hard. And then like the rest of the fucking crowd were just kind of like standing there going like, "What the
We made
fuck?"
them feel like their mums. We made them feel
Yeah,
like
no, we genuinely were just like, they were like, "What the fuck is this noise?" It's just like, ha ha
you
ha
feel
ha.
like your parents again.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? But to be fair, the guy who was running the thing, I mean, because
Dude, the
you guys
hosts really
came
enjoyed it. They were all just like,
last in the vote, which was not unexpected because you guys were playing fucking like noisy grindcore
yeah.
amongst like straight ahead metal bands. But the guy who ran the fucking thing, big ups. I can't remember his name because you know I am with
Most
names.
of the
But
hosts were like, dude, it was so good. All of us just looked at each other and went, it sounds like early Napalm Death. What the fuck?
and funnily enough, I mean that's always going to be, you know, there's no greater compliment that a grindcore band can
No,
receive.
Napalm Death, yeah, I know, right?
No, exactly. But yeah, no, shit fucking slammed. I had a great time. I got nicely inebriated and raged the fuck out
What
to my
else
mate.
has happened during this time?
What
We
else
went
has
and saw the
happened?
hell.
Well,
We went and saw
all
the
right,
fucking
so
hell.
we went to go see the hell.
That was sick.
That
That was so fucking cool. Right at the front row. I sang into the microphone like 6 times.
a band that we have just flat out sucked off on this
Yeah, man.
podcast.
Proper.
We've just sucked off that. Like, there's been podcasts where we have just absolutely just fucking gulped the hell's dick. Right?
Yeah.
We love that
And
fucking
swallowed.
band.
Nothing
Yeah,
left
no,
behind.
exactly
Nothing.
right. And so we went to go see the hell, and it was legit about as fun as you would hope seeing the hell was. The set list was absolutely spot on. We both managed to get to see like some good Joris stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was really hoping they played Joris shit, and they opened on Joris, and they played a good bit of stuff, and then they went into the back catalogue as well. I mean, it was fucking great. And yeah, no, I like shit got really rowdy as well.
Shit just got real, mate.
Shit, when they played shit just got real. When they actually played that I think that might have been like the fucking hardest bit of that evening.
Oh yeah.
Like legit, like it was one of those pits where like the opposite sides of the room just started running at each other. It was
All right. It's fucking
wild.
insane again.
it was a sick fucking gig. Obviously, we loved the hell. First time either of us have seen him live, and I mean, it was fucking great. Clobber and Grove Street supported. We managed to only see like the end of Clobber's set, but they're really good, like very like punky, old school hardcore.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then we saw Grove Street, previously known as Grove Street Families, sort of like doing some like sort of, and this is the thing, I definitely had heard them before.
Actually hardcore, right? Like
yeah, but the thing, I thought in my head they were like a beatdown band.
Yeah,
but they were like a crossover thrash band almost. Yeah. It was like very like sort of like beatdown influenced crossover, right? Fucking brilliant. I mean, like I had a really great time watching them, but I think the best fucking moment of that entire thing, what was them covering fucking Power Trip. That was
tax, yeah.
Oh mate, that was like
that was a curveball. I didn't expect that, but after I was like, yeah, that makes perfect sense now.
It was fucking like just you had like half the fucking crowd just running up and doing a fucking like trying to do the mic grab. It was just like, yeah, this song really is iconic already, isn't it? Yeah. Like it was a fucking moment and a half. Great fucking gig. We both went to that. Both had a fucking banger. I tell you what, I would feel remiss if we didn't bring up the passing of Trevor Strnad.
Yeah.
I think it would be wrong if this wasn't brought up. I'm sure everyone watching this by now knows the lead singer.
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, I was gonna say, it's like a big part of this podcast, anyways, because it has been brought up many times that one of our goals was to get Trevor on the podcast, and it's just like.
And obviously we said that jokingly, but the thing is, so we've said many times on this podcast, kind of jokingly, we were like, oh, we can get Trevor on the podcast. And the reason why, even though, we were like, we're literally nobodies, this will probably never happen. But the reason why this was a thing was because Trevor Strnad, the lead singer of the Black Dahlia Murder, as I'm sure you've probably heard, passed recently. And it was fucking brutal, man. Like I'm not sure I've ever felt as sad at celebrity death as that. Like
I thought it was some fucking kind of sick twisted joke. Like I opened up Instagram and I saw it. I was like, no, that can't be real. Trevor wouldn't have fucking.
Yeah, no, I saw the post from the Black Dahlia page, and I just stared at it for about a minute and my stomach dropped, and I just kind of looked at it, and it like genuinely, like I couldn't process it for a second. It was just like, nah. Horrible, fucking terrible bullshit news. Just awful. Like the metal underground is a worse off place for Trevor not being here. I mean, he's one of my fucking favorite lyricists of all time.
Yeah. And as well, he honestly helps so much.
Love Black Dahlia.
For being such a big band, he always just like he knew all the fucking small bands, and like that's how I found like 200 Stab Wounds when they were first coming out. From Trevor. It was just like Trevor was always just in love with everything that was new, and he didn't give a shit about who you were. He was just like, yeah, here's this cool new band. Like
exactly, and it was one of the reasons why that existed, of being like, yeah, no, we'll get Trevor on the podcast, is because Trevor like legitimately gave a fuck about the underground in a way I don't think any other
any other big band
metal musician has ever continued to give a fuck about the underground ever. Ever. Like the guy. I mean, you say that about 200 Stab Wounds. I've talked to you about Mithras, right? That fucking Mithras album. Who the fuck do you think I got that from?
Dude, I didn't even know you got it from Trevor. That's
mad. No, I got it from when he was doing the Obituarist. That was his like second favorite album of the year that came out.
Like that was one of the last Obituaries he did.
Yeah, that album was like his second favorite album of the year it came out, and just reading how he described it, I was like, that sounds like a bit of me. Now that's one of my favorite metal albums of all time, right? Like, like legitimately, I would fucking look forward to reading anything that he'd written about any new bands. I'd go so far as to say, like, this podcast is just massively inspired by his his whole attitude towards like new music and new metal. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just. If anything, like his passing really makes me go, right, well now I've got to fucking dig twice as hard because I haven't got Trevor to fall back on. It fucking sucks, man. It's terrible, but like I said it before, I'll say it again. Like Black Dahlia Murder. Now that it's kind of. I mean, I don't want to say about the future of that band with or without Trevor, like, but. As it stands, the Black Dahlia, what Trevor did with them, one of the greatest fucking discographies in all of metal,
Manny.
One of the all-time great fucking lyricists, easy, unfucking believable frontman, all-round dude. Rest in peace. I've got nothing else to say.
Sorry to fucking interrupt you. Zoom are cunts.
What's that?
You need Zoom Pro now to go on for longer. We've only got 10 more minutes, apparently.
No. Okay. Do you want to? All right. Okay.
What I'll do is I'll end the meeting and I'll clip them together.
Okay. All right. Okay. But if anything, that gives us fucking pause to carry the fuck on with what we are actually here to do today, which is talk about.
Do you want to cut this and then we'll have that? So as I know, it's just the intro, and then we'll actually go into the video.
Good shout. Yeah. End this now. Yep.
Last fucking thing that I do want to say. Is of the Trevor thing. Rip Trevor, obviously, all that. It was a fucking all-round, just great fucking like lyricist, just charismatic guy. But also, absolutely. I think it goes without saying, if you need help with like anything going on in there, you need to call someone or tell someone or something. Like it can be difficult, but it has to be.
Cool. Fucking message me.
Yeah, message Manny. Don't message me though, because don't do that.
No, message me, 100%. Get in contact. I'll talk to anyone who's feeling down. Like I know you're probably gonna go to a professional before you go to me, and so you probably should. But if you fucking if you want to fucking message me, I will talk to you because mental health is really important, and the fact that clearly there was so much going on to the point where what had to happen happened is fucking heartbreaking, and it just shows that you can never know. Somebody who seemed to be so fucking positive on the outside, that's one of the things that makes you realize, like, shit, you gotta look out, you gotta keep on the lookout, you know what I mean? So look out for each other, everyone. Check out on your fucking mates.
Yeah.
And blast the Black Dahlia Murder, man. Next fucking order of business is we've both have 5 albums to talk about. So we thought if we were going to fucking get back after all this time, we might as well talk about some records that we have been tiding us over. We've both been enjoying, and we can talk about them. We can have a little back and forth about them. We can ask each other questions about them, and we can recommend them to you, our dear audience.
He's got new shit, and I'm basically redoing my top 5 albums because obviously I'm only I'm 16, so like it's gonna change every day at the minute. Like,
sure. You're still in your formative years, right?
It's nothing brand new. Like everyone's heard of these albums, but you know what? Fuck you. Maybe I'll put someone onto it.
Your tastes are changing, and that's a fucking good thing. You know what I mean? Like you're exploring, and that's an exciting time. It's part of the reason why I'm really fucking.
There's only one album on here that is the same as the first top 5 I did.
All right, and then the other 4 are completely fresh. Well, I'll tell you what, mate. I'll let you start. Give me your number 5 fucking top album.
No, number 5 top album, Manny. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned it after what I just said. Because first of all, I want to do some quick fucking honorable mentions because I felt awful leaving some of these albums out.
No, go for it.
So, just quickly run through them. Gore Apocalypse by Agoraphobic Nosebleed. It's got a whole greatest man to ever fucking exist. Riffs.
Fucking yeah. And I love that fucking record.
That's that. Dude, the drum programming, insanity. Fucking insanity.
Best of all time. Great, the GOAT.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
GOAT drum programming album. There is none better. I will die on this hill.
Yep, there is no better album with drum sounds with
fucking
programmed drums.
crazy. Like to the point where when you first hear that and then you find out that there was drum program, it's
You go
like,
like, what the
fuck
fuck?
off, is that a fucking drum machine?
Yeah.
Like, no,
He
like that. Like,
accidentally
this is the level of
accidentally
genius.
got awarded award for a drumming award because they didn't realize they thought that he actually played drums. They didn't realize that he was playing
Fucking
programmed
nuts,
drums.
man. What?
Which could be funny though, because they do like to fuck around with people. So
the entire band is a troll. That's half of the fun.
Exactly.
But,
the whole of Question to Integrity. The lyrics to that, all one big troll.
Oh, it's fan-fucking-tastic. Go
it.
read them if you haven't.
All right.
But hell fucking yeah, Gore Apocalypse. What's your other honourable mention?
Another honourable mention. You got me way into this fucking album. Buster by Admiral Angry. Obviously, like his favourite album or one of his favourites.
Yeah, top 5. If you had to put a gun to my head, yeah, that's one of the best heavy albums ever come up by anybody.
Dude, like I've come past it again, and it's like I love the fucking heavy, depressing shit. So this is just perfect for that, dude.
No, that album is the sound of losing all hope on a drug binge.
Yeah, right.
Like that album is like literally the sound of like feeling as though you're above humanity while nearly killing yourself with Class A substances. It's fucking unreal.
The Illusion of Strength is the perfect song to fucking describe that.
Mate, the lyrics to that song are fucking nuts.
The next one is like just kind of to rip the band-aid off and to tide people over and make them happy that I'm gonna mention this band, because before I never shut the fuck up about them. So the next honorable mention is just going to be The Highest Floor by Cattle Decapitation. I don't need to talk much more because you've already heard all my fucking like part pieces about that album.
We have, yeah.
Another honorable mention that like is like a small album I've been digging like fucking mad. Inherent Disease by Scattered Remnants. Oh my god. Like fucking like doomy fucking brutal death metal type shit with atmosphere. So good. Inherent Disease is so sick. And then
incredible fucking band.
I know, right?
Like big up. No, big. Like we haven't even talked about this band outside of this podcast. Brilliant fucking band. Like genuinely so talented, so interesting.
With an atmosphere. And the dude's I think the guy's called Jay, the singer. His fucking screams are like when he actually screams, it's so high pitched and like haunting. It's insane.
Yeah, no, great fucking band.
Yeah.
100% backed. Yeah.
Final honorable mention before I actually get onto my number 5. I Hate God with Dope Sick.
Cool.
Bit more of a carpool, but like
I'd get you into sludge eventually, man.
I got myself into it.
Yeah, no, good.
JR wouldn't shut the fuck up about I Hate God, so I was like, well, I guess I listen to I Hate God. Like sludge, bluesy, fuck your life, end it all type of shit. Love it.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, like another band that I very much associate with like depressing drug binges. Like that band is the sound of heroin to me. Like it's just like, I'll tell you what, if you like depressing, particularly depressing, edgy lyrics, holy fucking shit, some of that band's lyrics are just fucked up.
Yeah, I know, right? All right. No, legit. We'll go on to number 5.
Yeah, okay, right. Honorable mention, some fucking serious shouts in there, but now we're on to the fucking big boy business.
This is the only one that has stayed the same, but it's moved down quite far. More the case, Forensic. Of course, I have to keep this fucking album on here.
Yeah, fair fucking play.
It is just the most twisted, brutal death metal I've ever fucking heard, and I love every single piece of it. If you want like non-cringy brutal death metal lyrics about fucking raping and sodomy and misogyny and murderers and shit like that,
all that good stuff.
If you want non-cringy ones and ones that actually sound like it could actually come from the mouth of a serial killer, here it is. Here's that fucking album.
Yeah, for me, because you were the one who introduced me to this album. I hadn't heard it before this podcast, and
I forgot.
But this is the thing. Like I'd looked into it, and it's like considered a classic, and it's just one of those things that just passed me by. Like I'd never come across it, and the thing that gets me about that fucking band is their riffing style.
Oh, I know, right? It's so proggy.
It's so different. Like the riffs are so like bizarre in like the coolest way. Like you genuinely cannot know what to expect, right? Which
Nah.
in the world of brutal death metal, which let's face it, right? Slams, we love slams, but slams, that's like two riffs. All slams, two riffs, basically,
Yeah.
right? Whereas with Mortal Decay, some of those riffs are so fucking weird, like, but it never feels like completely alienating. You always feel as though it's taking you somewhere with it, as opposed to it just being a wall of noise or whatever,
Yeah.
which I do enjoy. But yeah, no, that fucking album is unbelievable, and the vocals,
Oh yeah,
are
the frog
crazy.
vocals, man, insanity. He fucking sounds so demented. Also, just to prove how much I fucking love this album, because I didn't have it before, but I do have a physical copy now. Spent
Oh
a
yeah,
pretty nice penny for it, but yeah, no, it's beautiful. Like I love this album to bits. Always
no.
in my top five, but I've spoken about it before. So let's move on to your number five of the records that have been tiding you over.
Well, I tell you what, I'm doing mine in reverse order. I'm just going to do mine from 1 to 5, right?
Yeah.
And I'm starting mine for a very specific reason, and this has
Right.
been a holdover from when we fucking were meant to do this like a year ago, right? I want to get absolutely roasted. I want to be annihilated in the eyes of my peers, my fucking relatives, and my friends. I want them all to never be able to look at me straight ever again, right? Because, oh my God, I've enjoyed something like not just enjoyed, I have become obsessed with an album that sounds like it should have come straight out of Warped Tour. Like, the one thing I've always said to you and to anyone is I like all of heavy music except for Warped Tour metalcore. And what the fuck happened? Except I fell in love with the new album by Ice Nine Kills, which is called The Silver Scream 2. Welcome to Horrorwood, right? So, Ice Nine Kills, the way I would describe their sound on this album, it's kind of like if you took that first Panic at the Disco album, yep, and you combined it with like it's basically like metalcore Panic at the Disco, right? But the thing is, before you start your roasting, which I may or may not deserve, the thing is that number one, it's about 20 million times more fun. Number two, all of the songs are about different horror movies, and all of the fucking different like elements of every song kind of fit in to whatever movie they're talking about. And number three, this may be the best fucking collection of choruses I've heard on anything in like 5 years. Like if you want to talk about choruses, and you know, we can talk about proggy brutal death metal all day. Sometimes I just want to listen to some fucking
Nice
choruses.
chorus, something that will hook you. Yeah,
But the level of chorus on this album, like if you listen to this album from front to back a couple of times, it's not just like you're going to have a chorus in your head. I have at points with this album, because I became totally obsessed with it when it came out, right? I had 5 of them in my head at once, interchanging. It was like going fucking insane, right? So yeah, genuinely, it is like very fucking like, it's like theater kid metal. It's very theatrical. There's lots of like different things going on, and it's got a very Panic at the Disco-y level of thing. But at the same time, right, there's a song on there that features fucking Corpse Grinder.
What?
There's a song called Take Your Pick, which has a feature from Corpse Grinder on it. So you know,
metal band.
So it's not completely out of place. Yeah, no, the one thing about it is when it gets heavy, and I would say that when it gets heavy, it's like a deathcore album, right? But when it does get heavy, like Take Your Pick is not a fuck about. There's also the song about Pet Cemetery. The name fucking escapes me right this second. Funeral Derangements. That shit gets heavy as fuck too. But there's also songs on there which are basically pop punk, but they're so fucking catchy, well sung, well put together. And it's all about different horror movies. There's one about The Fly on there. There's one about fucking... There's one about Hellraiser. I love that one about Hellraiser. I love the one about Evil Dead. It's fucking great. I don't give a shit. Now tell me what a fucking poser I am. Do it. And I want this to be a fucking. Tell me what a dickhead I am for letting this podcast not happen
Yeah,
for this
do it
long.
because I can't. Because I haven't, first of all, haven't heard the album, and as well, my next pick isn't like the most beautiful pick in the world.
No. Let me have it. I can take it.
My number 4. Well, you already know it, anyways, because I asked you if I would be allowed to talk about it because it may not be counted as a metal album. But you know what? Fuck you lot. It's like it has metal elements in it.
This fucking episode is us completely and utterly fucking stripping ourselves of any metal cred because we don't give a shit.
Yep, it's all gone now.
Yeah,
I've grown up. I don't need just metal in my life. But so my next album is actually a fucking nostalgic one because this was like literally one of my favorite albums from when I was like, I don't know, 12 or 11 or something. My next one that I've revisited and come to realize that I love like more than anything is gonna be My Chemical Romance with I Brought You My Bullets and You Brought Me Your Love.
You're going with the debut.
Yeah, the debut is the fucking best. It is so much better than anything else they've put out.
Fair fucking play. No, the debut. I tell you what, that debut, it is like literally like 2 fucking marks off of being like an actual screamo record.
Oh yeah, dude. Listen, like fucking
legit.
First of all, none of the songs are like the same. No 2 songs on that album are the same. So you've got Honey, this mirror. What the fuck? That could be bad. Honey, this mirror isn't big enough for the both of us. Which is like pretty much just a straight metal song. Like it starts off with that like that's fucking metal as shit. Then Vampires Will Never Hurt You. It starts off softer, but it has the much more darker sound, and then like the rest of the song is just a full-on just breakdown all the time.
I'm always down for
that. Shit, like what's another song that like jumps out? Head First for Halos is their love for like more theatrical bands. Like Queen.
I think I remember that one, actually.
Oh, yeah. It's the one that stands out the most because it's like. You
just sound like a circus right now.
I know, right? It sounds like a fucking circus strike. It's so insane. Like, they were like.
No, I think I remember that one. Yeah. I have heard the album, but not for many years.
Oh, dude. It's honestly, revisit it. Like, I've done it and I'm falling in love again. Like
no, on your recommendation, I'm fucking on it, mate.
Yeah, dude. But like, honestly, it become one of my favorite albums. The nostalgia's there, but also like this debuts. Like, if what you know of My Chem is just like the Black Parade or being that emo band, they are actually way more than that. Like, the first album, as I say, no 2 songs are the same. You can have some metal sounding shit, some hardcore sounding shit, some screamo sounding shit.
Beautiful.
And it's all just there. It's all just laid out on a nice silver platter. Perfect. Gerard's voice on that album is insanity. He had a fucking abscess in his tooth while he was recording the vocals as well, because he went to like 6 doctors and none of them could figure out what the fuck was going on. So he just had to record the vocals with an abscess in his tooth.
Yeah, no, that's not a fun time. But,
I know, right?
But you have a newfound appreciation for the album. Yeah. It's fair to say.
Yeah, exactly. Newfound appreciation. Insanity.
Excellent. No, excellent. So I have listened to it because I had a moment when I was about like, this is nostalgic. When I was about 26 or 27, I had a moment where I was like, I'm going to listen to all of those sort of emo bands from back in the day. I'm going to fucking listen to them with a far more open mind. And I did listen to the whole MCR discography. Now, my favorite is 3 Cheers. Like, I think 3 Cheers, 3 Revenge. I think that album is bonkers. Dude, like, in terms of,
it's got such good composition. Oh my god, there's some parts on that record that are like, oh.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. Like I say, like, I very often am a big chorus guy, and this just the level of chorus on that fucking album is just nuts. Yeah, that was my favorite. But I do remember being really taken aback by how raw that first one is.
It's way more raw, isn't it? It's straight like
yeah. I mean, it's a post-hardcore album.
Post-hardcore, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, but it definitely at points like gets quite close to being like almost screamo.
Yeah.
Like and you know, there's some like proper metalcore elements on there too. You know what I mean? Like, but of that era, like, I was really surprised by the level of energy, like the raw energy on that album. Definitely gonna fucking give that another spin at some point on your recommendation. Now that's become your fourth favorite album. Fan fucking tastic. My Chemical Romance. All right.
My bullets, you brought me your love. You never would have expected it, because when we started this podcast, I was in the mindset again of My Chemical Romance. That shit's fucking stupid, mate. I used to like that when I was 12.
We started this off as basically a death metal podcast, right?
Yeah, man. And now look at how far we've come. We've just spoken about a Vans Warped Tour style album and a band who ended up playing Vans Warped Tour all the time. So
exactly,
this is right? Where it's going now. You can fuck off if you don't like it.
Well, funnily enough, my next pick is going to take it right fucking back into. This is basically Mannycore. I found an album recently, which it was kind of like someone went inside my fucking brain and made an album specifically for me, right? So the album is by a band called LLNN. That's the letters LLNN, and the album's called Unmaker. And this fucking album is legitimately like, okay, so what are two things I've legitimately gone on at you and on this podcast about loving all the time, right? There are two things. I love metal, which is sci-fi themed. I fucking love it, especially if it's about space and like gigantic space phenomena and like just the epic expanse of space, but particularly in terms of it literally being heavy, like black hole heavy. I'm all about that shit. I love it. It just fucking gets me going. What's another thing I like? Extremely disgustingly heavy sludge.
Yeah,
that's heavy true. Sludge. Like nasty fucking down, like as down tuned as you can possibly go type sludge, right? With that kind of that hardcore fucked element, right? That's literally what this is. So it's like I describe it as atmospheric sludge metal because there's a big thing on the atmospheric spacey wise, but grounding the whole thing it's basically a fucking breakdown, but being played with drop fucking Z guitar, right? It's fucking so massive I cannot even fucking tell you. It's like it's beyond, it's so fucking huge. Like if you listen to it with headphones on, it legitimately feels like having the entire weight of the universe just collapsing onto you rhythmically.
And Manny's weight, apparently. Manny's brain.
Man, don't you be talking about my weight. It's gotten even worse.
I'm joking, man. I'm sorry.
I know you were, you rake. It's fine.
Anyway, this Black Hole album.
LLNN Unmaker. It is legit, I think. It's got to be the heaviest album I've heard over the past sort of year. It's fucking unbelievable. Like, and you've got this vocalist who's like, he's got a really cool style. He's definitely not got the tortured kind of scream, but he's quite legible as well. You can tell what's being said, especially during parts where it's just him. Like and the drums, like you get some very cool fucking lyrics about like autocrats taking over fucking sectors of the galaxy in order to increase their trade. It's very sci-fi, and I love that. But yeah, this is legitimately, in terms of just sound, in terms of just heavy fucking sound, best fucking album I've heard like over the past sort of year period. It's just it's genuinely a bit unbelievable. Like I also have to give a shout out to the podcast whose shirt I'm wearing right now, the heaviest podcast. Yeah. Because that's where I got this from. Yeah, a podcast recommending an album that was gotten from another podcast. How incestuous. It's true.
We are really scraping for ideas. This album sounds fucking sick. I want you to link me this when we're done, so as I can.
It genuinely, like, I would recommend quite literally anybody to either listen to this on a fucking stereo at a ridiculous volume or to put it on headphones. It is so fucking good. Like the heaviness as well it's literally just completely unafraid to basically be just one note. It's like breakdown. It's like literally one when it gets heavy, it just goes dun 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 dun, and it is something hypnotic about it as well. But it's crushing shit. Like unbelievable fucking album. I've been holding this shit off for a year. That's why I'm this excited. Amazing, right? Give me your third favorite album, sir.
Once again, we're not really breaking many fucking boundaries here. But my third favorite album of all time now is Converge's Jane Doe. What a fucking simple pick, mate. But yeah, of course, it's like literally their best fucking album. It's so good.
Oh, you know something? I don't know if I agree that Jane Doe is my favorite.
Oh, I really like Jane Doe.
So let's get it fucking straight. Jane Doe is unfucking real.
Oh yeah, right? It is unreal.
Like it's unreal, but in terms of I think I might be more of a You Fail Me guy.
You Fail Me is really good. Fucking
You Fail Me is fucking unbelievable, and No Heroes as well. I love No Heroes. Is it called No Heroes?
Yeah, No Heroes has that 6-minute long like song that's like barely metal. It's like
that's why I like it, probably.
Yeah, dude. I do like all the albums, but because I think I've listened to way more of Jane Doe, it's like so fresh in my head all the time.
So Jane Doe, I think, is their most inventive album.
Yeah, especially from like being that early on in their like career and doing that.
No one sounded like that at the time.
Absolutely.
That's the thing that always does make me go, yeah, but fair enough. Like it might not be my personal favorite, but like no one sounded like that.
Yeah, they always say that they're too metal for hardcore kids and too weird for metal kids. So
but by that, like that, I feel as though their influence specifically on like
so many people,
like in terms of especially on like the sort of the hardcore scene specifically in terms of where we're going to be writing like really fucking chaotic, like twisted, fucked up music for hardcore kids.
It's like fucking sections where there's melody still. There's a chorus.
No, my favorite part from Jane Doe are when there are like weird melody parts. Like some of those guitar phrases on that album are like still unique. Like I've heard other bands sort of do a lot of what they do on that album, obviously, but some of those like weird guitar phrases that you get on that album still sound like no one else. Like, and on top of that, Ben Collier? That like, mate, one of the most insane drummers
of all time, dude.
Like his drum fills are like you hear him play drum fills, and you just go, how am I even meant to process that in my brain?
Yeah,
let alone
and they're like so often. It's what the fuck's going on? He did so many weird drum fills, but they all like it wasn't messy. They all made sense. No. And then you've got the track like Homewrecker, which is just a straight like hardcore fucking song. That one's really fun.
Yeah.
Homewrecker was the one that like first brought me into the album. Obviously the first one, fucking Concubine, that's right. It ended so abruptly in such a weird way.
Yeah.
Jane Doe, the song itself, that's one of the ones where the atmosphere like builds so much.
No, for sure.
And then obviously,
I'm pretty sure I remember that one.
I have to talk that the lyrics are another reason why I like Converge so much these days, because as I said, I like depressing heavy stuff, but obviously this isn't like as heavy as Admiral Angry will ever be, but it's got them depressive lyrics and the music is still weird.
Jane Doe is a breakup album.
Yeah, exactly. It literally is.
Yeah, Jane Doe is literally a fucking breakup album. You know what I mean? And I think for something that heavy to be about love lost at that point, I think a lot of people called that some homophobic slurs at the time.
Yeah,
which is they did.
I think fucking metal like with the personal touch is always going to be cooler, especially like obviously not to say fucking hell, Jesus, not to say that I don't like bands that do like the gore stuff or anything like that or stuff about space. Cool. I fucking love I don't care about lyrical themes. But if your lyrics are good and if they're depressing and you write it in a good way, I am 10 times more likely to like your band. And if you have chaotic music in the background, I am 10 times more likely to like your band.
Hell fucking yeah. No. 100%. I mean, I think you definitely go for the more emotive, depressing stuff than me, but at the same time, when you can feel someone legitimately fucking
Yeah, that's why I've been like getting into so much
putting a really
screaming now.
raw, vulnerable bit of themselves into the music, it definitely fucking does. It
That's why
resonates.
yeah, that's why I've been enjoying so much screamo now. Like I got Shaun's, like I heard page 99 and I was just like, yep, let me hear more of this, please.
And that's going to be the next episode, boys and girls. Is this
Yeah.
lad? Even though, like you haven't been listening to Screamo for that long, you're still more knowledgeable in it than me.
Yeah, I've given you five records that you've never heard, I don't think. Aside
So
from
yeah,
one, maybe.
essentially, he's going to be showing me 5 albums I've never heard, and I'm going to be listening to all of them, and then we're going to talk about all these albums on the next scene. But that's the fucking next episode.
Oh yeah. So basically, number 3, mate, it was Converge's Jane Doe. Because I'm fucking sad. Now it's time for Manny's number 3.
Right. Now, to bring it right fucking back to where this podcast started, I had to do it to him. I had to. My next album is Pyrexia with Gravitas Maximus.
Oh shit, dude.
Right. So this is the slam. This is the slam album of the year. I'm saying it right now. Last year now. Jesus Christ! But
No, it wasn't. No, that was this. I swear the fuck down. That was this year.
Wait, you look it up. You look it up. So
I swear down that was this year. No, what the fuck? No, I don't think it even was. It
no,
like December.
Pyrexia, right? New York death metal legends, New York brutal death metal legends.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, fucking
playing shit very much in the fucking same kind of vein as your suffocations and your dying fetuses and your internal bleedings, right? And now we love all this stuff on this podcast. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you exactly why I think this is the slam album of the year. You've got this band who are legendary, been putting in the fucking work for a very long time. And what I feel as though they've done with this new album is they've taken the old school fucking like mentality to new school slam, right? So this album is it's got a big fat production job. It's all about the punch, right? We're not talking old school type production job. It's of the new school. And it's all about, like, there's fucking bass drops all over it. It's all about being groovy, but they bring a kind of a riff style from the old school into the new one, and they bring like a real, you can just tell that they've been doing it for fucking years. And it just means that, like, it's the most fun I've had with a slam album, like in quite a long time. Like it's short. I think it's 25 minutes, so it doesn't outstay its welcome. But all it does for all of those 25 minutes is be fucking sick. It's just grooves, right? The whole fucking thing is just groove. Like, I can put that on, it doesn't matter where I am, and my fucking head goes. I just start like, it's so good. They sample The Exorcist on that fucking thing. They sample Shook One Part 2 by Mobb Deep on it, which is always a good fucking shout from me. So it's got a kind of a thuggery element to it too. It's just big man things, man. What can I say? That album is fucking big. Like it's obnoxious and it's dumb, but it's done with a real like know-how that only old schoolers, I feel, could really bring to it. Like, that's better than the new Abdominal Putridity album. It's better than like you can put any sort of more new school slam band up against that and it's better. It's legitimately better. It's so much fucking fun.
Actually, yeah, it depends on who you count as slam. No, I think, but yeah. Yeah,
but yeah, like any sort of new school slam band that isn't part of the New York old school kind of thing, like that have put out albums recently, the people have said are good. The new Pyrexia is better. It just is. Like, to me, that is the most fun fucking slam album of the year. It's so
last year. It was last year,
but probably better than anything that will come out this year. Like, that's become a real go-to for me. Like, if I want to listen to slam, I'll probably put that album on. It's so good. Like, fucking unbelievable record. Pyrexia, Gravitas Maximus. Big man things. Go listen to it. If you like slam and you haven't listened to that, you are fucking up. It's great. It's great.
It's very good. Right. I will say it is very good.
We're getting into the fucking business hours right now.
We need to restart the recording because Zoom fucking sucks.
Okay, right. We're going to cut this off now, and then Sean's going to tell us his number 2 album. Go on, cut that shit off.
So
All right then.
now it's time to talk about my second favorite album, like of all time at the minute.
Sick.
So I've been talking about depressing shit and crazy sounding stuff, a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
My next one is gonna be Discordance Axis with the Inalienable Dreamless. Before I even
Yeah,
talk about it,
mate.
I stare at this for a long while. I spent way too much money on this. I spent way too much fucking money on this.
Yeah, that like you actually got the long box as well.
Oh, it's the only thing that's available. And then a few months later, they come out with a re-release. They come out with a fucking re-release.
Hell yeah!
Far too
No,
much money on
no.
it, and it's not to move on.
I'll let
Anyways,
you keep to yourself how much you spent on that, but
yeah.
yeah, I can imagine.
Anyways, the Scottish Axis, the Inalienable Dreamers, has become one of the more well-known grindcore albums of the 2000s, and probably one of the last grindcore bands to make a new step in grindcore.
Yeah,
Some people
I
have
agree.
moved forward
Yeah,
since, have added a bit more elements, but in the 2000s, this was fucking so different compared to what anyone else is doing. Because
still is.
it had,
Still
yeah,
is.
it had melody. There was melody.
Yes, exactly.
Also, probably one of the first grindcore albums to be more personal. You know, because everyone
Definitely.
else is talking about politics or gore. John Chang had lyrics about fucking just like, how sad he is. And Evangelion as well. He's a massive fan of Evangelion, which is very cool because I watched Evangelion very recently and I loved it.
I'm still such an anime noob. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
I know.
dude,
I know.
Evangelion's a great place to start. It's so good. But either way,
Yeah, I've heard from many people
but like,
Evangelion.
there's Evangelion like fucking everywhere on this. I mean, one of the songs is called "The Third Children." There's one called "Pattern Blue." One of the songs mentions an AT field. All stuff to do with Evangelion. Um, and why do I love this album so much? Well, simply put, when I first heard it, I listened to it 5 times over in a row. It did not escape my mind. The fact that there was this melody and the vocals. Oh my god, John Chang's vocals. Highest
Yeah,
fucking vocals in grindcore you'll hear. Like, oh my, so
yeah. No,
fucking high.
like that man has a fucking screech on him.
Yeah, he's screeching
Yeah,
all like throughout this entire record. Uh, got Dave Whitty on drums, impeccable
yeah.
drummer. If you know anything, he's done stuff in Melt Banana and now more famously he's in Municipal Waste. But like his blast beats,
He's in Municipal Waste.
yeah,
I didn't know
he's always
that.
been in yeah, he's always been the old guy in Municipal Waste. He's the drummer for
What
Municipal
the
Waste.
fuck? How did I not know that?
But yeah, Dave
Damn.
Whitty is an impeccable drummer. His blast beats are like so, and as well, like they're creative. They're a bit more fucking fun, like half the time.
So the main thing I think of when I think of that album is it never sits still.
No,
Like, but obviously, like that's something you think of in grindcore anyway. But
there is
usually
only
that
one
means
song where it starts to
grindcore
sit
is just
still.
constantly fast. That thing, like the thing that I always think of when I think of that record specifically, is that it is just constantly shifting. Like you
I know,
don't get
even though it's
a
like all
chance to
pretty
settle
fast, it's
into
constantly going.
anything.
It's
And
constantly going, even though it's fast.
it constantly moves into directions that you don't
Yeah,
expect. And
like one of the
does
best
so
tracks to talk about.
often. It does so often that even when you've listened to it a few times, I mean, I've probably listened to that thing upwards of like 10 times in my whole life. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, but I've listened to it a fair fucking few times. It is a genuine classic. And it doesn't matter how many times I've heard it, there is always a part on there that legitimately completely fucking takes me off guard. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Some standout moments on the record for me is like the song Jigsaw. The end of that, it's just the same riff but played at like with less like so it starts out pretty fast. Well, it sounds fast. It's still the same tempo, but he starts like picking less notes from it. And the drums start like they go from straight blast beats to then just dun, 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 with the kick on it, and then obviously it's just the ride accenting the riff.
That's
and then
right,
it goes, and then obviously it builds up again and goes back into the blast beats, and it's the same riff for like a minute, but just doing that. Then there's the track The Third Children, where there's that whole guitar section where it's just going for like a minute, and then it just stops and kicks straight into a scream with the drums and the guitars blasting again. And the one time this album actually decides to stop and let you breathe, it also makes you want to kill yourself, in the words of my mom. Because what's the fucking oh man, what's the name of the song? A Leaden Stride to Nowhere. That's right. Because the whole like most of the song is just bah, bah, bah,
I remember that
bah.
part. Yep.
And now it's just bow dum bow dum bow dum jun jun. And I had that playing in the car because I thought it was the most cool shit I've ever fucking heard when I heard it. It's like, whoa, this in the middle of a grindcore album? I was playing that in the car, and my mom was like, could you turn this off? I actually want to drive you into a tree and kill you and kill myself at the same time. I was like, well, that's perfect. That's what he's trying to
Oh,
do.
Natalie, I thought you had a far greater appreciation for art than that.
Yeah, nah, she hates the stuff that goes too slow for her brain. But
Yeah.
I'm a little sad boy, and I think it's the fucking coolest shit. And basically,
that part I always remember from that album because it is so completely out. Yeah, it's so out of the blue.
And
so out of the fucking blue.
Because John Chang always said he hated groove because he fucking hated power violence bands. That's also why he doesn't have bass on the album because he hates groove so much. So like,
yeah, which I mean, like I remember another thing. I think he said it. He was just like, "It's like fuck breakdowns. Breakdowns are for fat people."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, please don't, please stop saying things that are right.
Yeah,
like, I love breakdowns, and I'm a portly fellow.
That means I can't enjoy breakdowns because I'm too fucking skinny for it. That's why I like this shit so much, I guess. I'm not.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
Right.
You know, you're the fucking grindcore dude, and I'm the fucking doom metal guy. We're both like reflecting our physiques.
Yeah, dude. All right, let's hear your number two, Manny.
Right. So my number two and my number one are linked. Very much so. They're very much linked in that I found them both in the same way. So there is a website I've talked about on here before called Rate Your Music. Rate Your Music is full of hipster dickheads, but I love it anyway because it's great for finding new stuff because you can search for things through genre and influence, right? It's really good. And one day I thought to myself, you know what? I want to find a record that's like a mix of fucking crossover and grind. Because in my head, I'm like, they're both kind of like middle grounds between hardcore and metal, and like the punkier side of those of hardcore and metal. I'm like, and that would sound fucking great. And I found both my number two and my number one through this exact method. But what's interesting is that my number two was exactly what I was looking for, but my number one was not what I was looking for, but it's become an outright obsession. Yeah. So we'll start with my number two. My number two is by a band from Holland called Collision, and the album is called A Healthy Dose of Death. Now, it was exactly what I was looking for in terms of the fact that it literally sounds like Municipal Waste or DRI, but with a real fucking napalm death injection, right? Exactly what I wanted, and it is fucking brilliant, right? It's so much fun. There's some brilliant fucking song titles on there. What was it called? No, I've got to get the Spotify up actually. But yeah, one of my favorite song on there is called "My Super Sweet Stalker." That song is
sick song, man.
That song is for rock around the shopping block, charming chicks with a crucifix, the violence of the lambs, going nuts with splattered guts, screamer, fucked up and wasted. You get the fucking idea. It's a really, really good time. Like a genuinely such a great time. It's when I describe that to you, it's like crossover thrash, but played with a real fucking grind aggression. Yeah. If you don't think that sounds like fun, I can't be friends with you. Yeah. Because that, like, legitimately, it's so good. I put that on. I think it's like 26 minutes long, so it's not fucking long. Gets the fucking job, but 27, right? So it gets the job out and done. There's a few really riffy moments on there. There's a few complete fucking blast out moments where it just goes completely into blast territory. There's moments where it gets like just really punk, like it's the whole fucking shebang, right? Yeah. The band clearly they are clearly having the time of their lives writing and recording the fucking thing. And it's another way in which both of these albums are connected, actually, is that they're both released within a year of one another. This came out in 2012, and my number one album came out in 2013. But yeah. So Collision have been going since about the year 2000. I have not I love this album so much that I haven't listened to any of their other output. So
Yeah.
I'm just like,
You don't want to
I was
ruin.
like, well, I could listen to their other albums. I'm sure they're great, but this album is such the perfect crossover between crossover and grind. Like, I don't need to go anywhere else. I don't need to go to any other band for it. Right? It literally was like finding a fucking like the crock of gold underneath the rainbow. It was like I've gone out to find something and I found exactly what I thought it would sound like in my mind. It is a great fucking time. Yeah, if you want to see what it sounds like, if you want to see if it'll be for you, yeah, My Super Sweet Stalker. Listen to that. Because that literally sounds like a crossover thrash song played by a grindcore band.
Yeah, dude.
It's fucking great. Like it's such a good time, man.
I'm gonna listen to this when this is done as well.
It will get you off your fucking ass. Like literally, this is an album I like to listen to when I'm having my morning coffee. So it just fucking makes me want to run through my fucking garden fence. It's great.
Run through your concrete walls.
Yeah, no, straight through a concrete wall like a fucking Looney Tunes character, leaving like a hole.
Yeah,
like,
in the shape of yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That is the fucking vibe. Great fucking album. Great album. That is Collision with a healthy dose of death. Big up. Go listen to it. Right. Favorite album of all time. Then I suppose it's time.
Well, you know what it is. You already know what it is.
I know, but I've got to do this anyway.
Yeah, it's been under your noses this entire time.
Right.
Well, my favorite fucking album of all time. Now, as it stands now, I got way into it last summer, and it hasn't changed for around a year now. There was times when I was listening to this every single day for like 2 months. And I was still not bored of it. So not bored of it that I own it twice. It's Big Destroyers, Prowler in the Yard.
Hell yeah.
And you may, to get out of the way, why do I own 2 copies? Well, I bought this one first, and then after I realized it was the remaster. And then afterwards, I was like, I'm going to get myself an original press. And I got myself an original press. And it's fucking sick.
But how did the remaster sound, by the way?
Oh, it's like, it sounds way more, I don't know how to explain it. It definitely doesn't have the same kind of charm. It's not as raw. It sounds like more digital or tinny in a way.
No.
I know, right? And one of the songs had to be taken out.
That album sounds like a fucking ruckus. That's the point.
Yeah, I know, right? But
man, that sucks.
I know. But I do have the original copy, and I can assure you, it's beautiful. And as well, on the fucking remaster, mate, we had to take one of the songs out because they couldn't find the vocal stem for it. But it's okay. Really? It's okay because it was a 16-second long one, so it's okay. But I do really like "Evacuating Heaven." I really like that song.
But still.
They did bring it back because at the end of like the album they put unreleased, untitled on there because that's like a song that doesn't have vocals, but it wasn't released on the album. And oh my god, it goes so hard. If you haven't heard unreleased, untitled, listen to it. It's 51 seconds and it's so fun.
About that.
Yeah, it's one of the more like thrashy Scott Hall like songs. So it's good.
Yeah.
But now to explain why I love Big Destroyer, Prowler in the Yard so fucking much.
Hell yeah.
This album was a journey for me to actually enjoy. It's one of the main reasons why I chuck it out there. So when I was first exposed to this album, it was just the album cover. I was like 12 or 13, and I was watching the stupid Loudwire list because my brain hadn't fully developed, and I thought Loudwire was decent content. And
all right, we've all been there.
It's like one of the ones where it's like top 10 scariest album covers, and like Prowler in the Yard came, and it was the only one that actually kind of freaked me out. Like when I saw that guy, it actually kind of freaked me out. And like I don't know, maybe when I was I think it was around the same time. I was like, oh, that album cover's a bit freaky. Let me hear what this sounds like. And obviously,
and then that intro hits you.
Yeah, then the intro of Jennifer hits me with the automated voice.
Yep,
scared me far more than the album cover. That I literally.
Even I can remember the first time I heard Jennifer.
I didn't even get through the whole thing. I didn't even get through it. I just heard that voice. I was like, nope, that's not happening. You got to understand, at 13, I was scared. I was scared
Yeah.
of everything at the age. It's like, from what I was exposed to as a kid, my brain hadn't like developed to understand that I shouldn't be scared of most things. Like, I was terrified.
It was before you had been corrupted.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But no, the problem was that I was corrupted from such a young age that it stuck with me for so long that like everything scared.
Yeah.
And then it was so bad that when I went to bed that night, all I could see was the prowler in the yard, like, and with that automated voice, I'm thinking he's in my fucking garden, in my shed, cutting himself, waiting to run. I don't even know how he'd do it because he's got no legs anymore, so like he's not gonna be able to. But it like scared me so much that like it actually affected my sleep for like a few days.
Oh,
Lockdown.
It doesn't matter what it is that does that. Like the one time that happens, because I'm pretty sure that every person only gets that once.
Yeah.
But whatever that is, you kind of end up looking back on it as though it's a bit of a magic moment. Like my moment for that. My moment for that was seeing The Shining. I was like 8 when I was 8. I saw The Shining. And that completely fucked me up. Like I was just not all right. And then the next day, I went to school. I was fucking sitting there in my class. I looked to my right, and there was the doorway, like the door frame that led to the fucking class, and all I could see were those two twins standing in the hallway. And like legit, I was like legitimately traumatized sitting in the middle of math. I was just like, I can't think about anything apart from some of the images that are like permanently burned into my brain. You know what I mean? Like, I think if you like anything horror-ish, whatever that might be, like you only get one of those like once or twice.
1 or 2, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you don't really get those past certain points. So cherish that shit. The fact that such a brilliant fucking album. Because like this was one of my introductions to fucking grindcore as well.
I think it was my introduction. Because I was literally about to go onto the time where I actually listened to it.
It was for me like I'd heard Scum, and I thought Scum wasn't great, and that's me being truthful. When I first heard Scum, I was just like, okay, whatever. It didn't really do anything.
That's what I thought when I first
I don't know, but then I think I literally heard Prowler in the Yard, and that just. I mean, you have that intro, but then you have just the fact that the riff level on that album is all like legitimately. If you want to talk about like just riff albums in general, any fucking metal subgenre, that is like top 1%, easy.
It's so cool of them.
It's just like I'm usually not even that mental about any record, which is more like we're just gonna play like riffs. And there's not going to be much of song structure. We're just going to play riffs and then we're done. I'm usually not that mad into that kind of thing, but the riff level is so fucking good. Scott Hull is legitimately so on a different plane when it comes to this kind of thing that it's a fucking masterpiece. Like, of extreme metal. It really fucking is. Such a ridiculous
This is
record.
my favorite album. Stop stealing it.
I'm agreeing with you, Dick.
No, I'm joking. Anyways, so when I actually went to listen to the album at first, I was like, well, it's all right. I heard it in lockdown when I was actually getting into like death metal and stuff, and I was like, it's all right. Like it's a lot of screaming and whatever's going on in the back because Scott Hall's fucking guitars are so soaked in this. As well, there's no bass, so it's hard to hear what's going on. So
it's wiry, isn't it?
Yeah, dude. And now I can't get enough of his tone on this album. Obviously, because I think it's a perfect album all round. I think that like it was done so beautiful. But anyways, so like I listened to it, but the more I listened to it, the first song that actually clicked with me was Hyperviolet, because that one had a little bit more melody in that riff.
It's got a bit of groove.
Yeah, it's quite melodic as well, to be honest with you.
No, it is. It is definitely.
Then I remember, like, just then after that, started getting hooked on way more of a Piss Angel. Obviously, that's a fat riff.
Piss Angel is just like a god tier closer. Like
I know, right? It's so good.
The aggression of that fucking song, like the way that it's delivered is so fucking like
Heavy,
it's like getting hit by a truck. It's just like that every fucking. I've been listening to this album now for like what 15 fucking years, something like that. Every fucking time with that fucking the phone ringing sample. Hello. It doesn't matter. Every time I hear it, I just fucking screw up. It's fucking unbelievable.
Dude,
ridiculous.
There's obviously the drum intro to Junkyard God. I mean, fucking Junkyard God. That's like probably one of my favorites. Because after that drum intro, the riff. And then it just goes into madness and ends on a groove again. It's so good. Trojan Hole, obviously always going to be a live staple. That one has all the chug you could ever want to hear from Chog Hole. Scott Hole.
Chug Hole.
Chug Hole. Chug.
Carry on.
Just so many riffs all around. Scatology Homework, massive riff towards the end, another groovy riff. Naked Trees, one of the more like thrashy songs. Oh, that one grooves so hard. Maple Felt Grey opens with like a mathy intro. It's so cool.
Yeah, mate, I thought that's an underrated fucking song.
Dude, Maple Felt Grey is one of my favorites. Preacher Calling has the like really cool tremolo pick song, or like all the tremolo picks in it, and then like the drums do these cool double bass parts where it slows down, speeds up all the time. I never stop loving it so much.
Sick.
But like enough about the music, dude. The vocals, the lyrics here, the vocals are really good. I think JR has so much emotion in his vocals. It's insane.
Yeah, you know, he's a ridiculous vocalist, but we are talking one of the all-time great metal lyricists. Easy.
Yeah, easy. Literally my favorite lyricist of all time.
Do you know what? So funnily enough, like, do you know the fucking comedian Bill Bailey?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Bill Bailey, like literally long grey hair, looks like an old metalhead because he is, right? Bill Bailey likes Pig Destroyer. I'm genuinely not fucking kidding. Like, Bill Bailey likes Pig Destroyer, and he was once doing a bit on some fucking BBC program where he was like, you know, the world of like more extreme metal is fantastic because I tell you that I like a band called Pig Destroyer, and you go, ha, 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 ha. And then I tell you that the lyrics are legitimately like reading a twisted version of one of the all-time great American poets.
I know, right? Yeah, like the lyrics twisted as fuck.
To me, like he's one of those lyricists where like you almost can't. It feels unfair to like compare him to other metal lyricists a lot of the time. You have to compare him to like the great poets.
Because to explain it, it's when I first read the lyrics to this album, it clicked, and I was like, "There's way more going on here than just like cool riffs." Most of it I didn't understand. Like, as soon as I got to Scatology Homework, I was like, what is he on about here? He's screaming about how the chameleon's his favorite animal and there was a rainbow over the world like a halo. What? Okay, you go, JR. You go. That one confused, but now I understand it a bit more. And I understand the story because in the remastered version of the vinyl, funny enough, there is a JR like wrote this like short story about what was going on in his life at that time and why he wrote the album. So it is actually a breakup album again.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, dude. He was on a massive drug bender, living couch to couch. His car got broken into. They stole everything except his Deicide and Cannibal Corpse tapes. The girl that he was dating at the time had already been to a psych ward for trying to bash some girl's brain in on the sidewalk, and she was absolutely insane and really dangerous and liked to play dangerous games. And he thought that was really attractive. And then she fucking broke up with him, and his whole life was destroyed, which you can tell from this album because, oh my God, he is fucking creepy. He is so weird.
This has always been one of my things with Pig Destroyer. He remains one of the only lyricists that can genuinely weird me out.
Yeah,
Okay?
like in
Like,
Starbelly.
there comes a point with any metalhead where you read enough gore lyrics,
But
you
it
read enough
normal.
violent lyrics, and you're just like, it's run of the mill. And yeah, I have fun with it, but
Yeah,
it's run of the
but
mill.
because he's
But the
so
thing is, with
poetic about it.
JR reads like someone who is genuinely not well.
No, exactly. It's
Like,
crazy.
like I read the lyrics on that album. I'm like, this is somebody who like are people like watching out for this dude.
Yeah, this guy
You
needs
know,
to go see a therapist like soon, or he's
it's
gonna
it's
actually stab
genuinely
someone.
transgressive, right? It's
Like,
genuinely like actually like it feels like it's crossing over some
yeah,
serious boundaries.
because there's always gonna be the lyric on Starbelly, which is the other day I masturbated to pictures of you at your birthday party. That's like, whoa, that's fucking. They were the only ones I had. It felt so wrong, just like my whole life. I know, right?
No thanks.
Yeah, dude, it's so creepy. Piss Angel,
Yeah, it is.
first lines in that. I see you headless with me caressing your neck. Um,
Yeah.
what the fuck else is like so twisted? Hyperviolet's the more loving one. It's the only one that's like doesn't freak you the fuck out. Um, there's a lot of religious like themes in his lyrics as well to do with like torching the house of God and stuff like that.
Hell fucking
I mean,
yeah.
on even like I know it's not this album, but on the album that came out because Brother in the Yard isn't the first Pig Destroyer album, people. On
Nope.
fucking
Is it 36 counts of
38
battery?
Counts of Battery is yeah,
38
it
counts of
has the
battery,
first
yeah.
album on it, but like the actual first album is Explosions in Ward 6. It's just that 38 Counts of Battery is the album with demos and covers and stuff with it as well.
That's right. Yeah,
So on
yeah,
Explosions in
yeah.
Ward 6, there's a song called, I believe it's Tentacle. It's one of the first two. It's either The Flower or Tentacle. There's this one line where he just says something like, spiders crawling in or out, I can't tell from what, choking me from what I took from a 15-year-old girl. Like, ugh, dude, that's so far.
Non-destroyer.
Once destroyer, but you don't know. You could have been young enough at that time, but who fucking understands? Like, it's so creepy, all of his lyrics and poetic metaphors everywhere. Junkyard God is full of metaphors.
Yeah.
Fuck, like I'm so excited to talk about it. I can't even speak. What was I gonna say?
Oh, yeah.
My knuckles are bleeding on your front door, and these flowers are wilting in the rain. They're redundant like mercenaries in times of peace, like smoke twisting off the lips of a movie star. And here is a boy of paper skin who longs to touch the girl of broken glass, and she loves it when he wears his skin like that in tatters. So he was not only being creepy, but he was fucking depressed as shit. Starbelly again has like that's the trudging, slow, sludgy song on the oh, it's so good.
Yes.
Actually, weirdly, mixed quieter than every song on that entire album. Like when it comes
Yeah,
to
I
song,
know.
it's so much more silent. It's
Yeah,
weird.
I know. Matt, I've always noticed that. It really is.
Yeah, it's
Like,
so funny.
so that isn't a fuck up. That's a
I
deliberate.
don't know if it is. I just noticed it
Yeah.
one day. I don't know if it's a fuck up.
No, because it's like on every fucking edition of that album, that's how it is.
Yeah, it literally
Yeah.
is.
Is it like that on the remaster?
Yeah, I believe so from memory.
No, in which case that has to be an artistic choice.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah,
But
fucking
that
weird.
fucking the lyrics on that are also depressed. I feel like a zombie that refuses to live, haunting the junkyard and cutting myself some scraps of you. Like what the fuck, dude?
It's all stuff of it's all taking bits of another person, and I find obsession to be like one of the scariest
Yeah,
elements.
he's obsessed. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know that's what that album is. It's like it's somebody who is like murderously obsessed with somebody, and I've always found as a topic that I don't know why it gets me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can talk about mutilation as much as you want, but people being like that completely, totally like
so obsessed that you're willing to kill them if they leave you, so no one else can have.
Yeah, no, it's creepy. It's creepy.
It's
you
fun.
know what I mean? Like, big sort of incel vibes, but I'm glad we managed to get some fucking good art from it.
Yeah, he says
You know?
nowadays, looking back on it, he should have just gone and gotten help, and that other people, if they feel like this, need to go get help because he hates the way that he acted. Which I mean,
yeah, but at the same time, like,
but you did make
whole
like
thing with
one
it,
of the greatest grindcore albums.
but my whole thing with it is like he's right for one. Like he's definitely right. Like that's clearly not something from a healthy person. But at the same
But the
time, like
music was the therapy in the end, right? So
to me, like I feel as though like uh, putting this shit down in an artistic way, it fucking makes people know that like they're not the only fucking person out there feeling this way. Not in a way to validate it, but in a sort of a sense of like, shit, man, people really are twisted. Like it's an
yeah,
educational experience.
it
You know
is.
what I mean?
It is. It is an educational album. It has
Yeah.
taught me a lot of things that I never knew that you could do. Like, I mean, I feel like we have to talk about the two Jennifers on the album. They taught me about a lot I never thought would happen with a human body. But
No,
the
no.
eyeballs and the tongues, people.
Oh boy, yeah, no, that
And
is. I mean,
one
that
of
is
the
like,
creepiest fucking outros. You always told me you hated it how it ended on that and Jennifer twisted her head curiously to the sound of a rickety wooden roller coaster, and something about them realizing that the ride was never stopping and they were all going to die. And then obviously it's
yeah,
just
and then you
that
get that fucking
atmosphere
like that
with that
weird
fucking
like
girl like
singing
humming.
voice. Yeah, it's so creepy.
Dude.
It's so creepy.
Yeah, this
Like, you
album
know
has a
what I
lot of noise
mean?
influence as well, which is cool. Like it got me more into noise. So
Well, you're one step ahead of me there because I can't
and
get into it.
fun fact, the noise sections on most of this album were taken from Scott Hull's own noise project called Japanese Torture Comedy Hour, I believe was the name of it.
Japanese torture comedy hour.
I know, right? What a good name. But
That's fucking hilarious.
like the bits to the to the outro to Hyperviolet and intro to Starbelly, I believe, is taken from that.
Have you listened to any more of their stuff?
Yeah, I listened to the whole the first
Would you
section of
say
the
it's
album
worth
is
listening
actually
to?
Hyperviolet and Starbelly, but it's just the noise. But yeah, no,
Would you
like,
say it's worth listening to?
I mean, if you enjoy noise, yeah, and it'll be more familiar
Yeah.
because you've heard it on Prowler, so I think it's
Right.
easier to get into.
No, maybe. If ever I get into that kind of a thing, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a big noise guy to be
Ah,
honest.
dude,
So
I quite
yeah.
like it. But anyway, I
Fair,
think
fair, fair
we
fucking
should.
mate. Proud of the fucking yard. What a
Yeah,
fucking masterpiece. What
it
a
is a
genuinely good
masterpiece.
fucking. What a genuinely good fucking choice for your #1 album.
I
Like
know, right?
legit. Like
However, the
that's
only issue is I do not shut the fuck up about it. I had
no,
to.
you know, but there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
Like
dude,
you know what
I
I
had to do
mean.
this speech in English once for school, and they were like, "You choose any topic you want, and you just talk about it." And I went to my teacher. I was like, "I know what I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to need more than 5 minutes. I'm going to need a lot more." I'd spent like 15 minutes doing it. So,
What about Prouder in the Yard?
yeah, just about everything about Prowler, but specifically about the lyricism and stuff, because then I thought my English teacher would like it more because it's quite poetic, and we do poetry in English anyways. But like,
what did your teacher think?
oh, she thought it was like well, obviously she had to grade me on like my speech abilities and stuff like that, but she thought it was like incredible, and she thought some of the bits were funny but really confusing, and she was like, when you said those lyrics, it was just genuine poetry. I was like, yeah, I know, right? It's insane. JR is a poet. He's not a metal lyricist. He is a poet.
Yeah, no, legit. Like that's the kind of bar you have to put him up against.
Free
No,
verse though, because he doesn't rhyme.
well, yeah, I
But
mean,
I
but
think
again,
rhyming's a bit fucking cringy in metal. Like if he was to rhyme, I'd find it a bit too cringy.
well, I feel for some people it kind of creates a barrier. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
dude. Whereas his is entirely about what's going on in his brain, so you don't need to rhyme it.
yeah,
He's just sad and
it works
kills them
anyway.
and kills
His
himself.
lyrics are
So,
fucking excellent. But
yeah.
yeah, Prowler and the fucking
Yeah.
Yard by Pink Destroyer. I mean, that is it's definitely my top 20 heavy albums ever. Not that I hate having to rank things like that, but it's fucking unbelievable. Like big fucking album for me too. Like you know what I mean? Like 100%. So after absolutely wanking off Proud in the Yard, we get to my #1 album that I've enjoyed most. Although I'm not really, but we're just gonna call it #1. Who gives a shit? My last album I want to talk about that I've been banging to this past year is, again, very much connected to the last one. It's influenced, I want to say, with this one, there's an influence from both crossover thrash and grindcore. But this time, I want to say that description doesn't do it justice. And also, I want to say this album is really unique, but also familiar. It is one of the most fun things I've come across, specifically if you enjoy stuff with lyrics for Roggins. And considering the fact we've just literally gone on about fucking Prowler and the Yard about being written by somebody who's not there. But don't compare that to that, because we're not talking poetry here. We're talking, this is literally a fun time if you enjoy sleaze, right? So this album is by a band called Necrofilth. That's Necro spelt with a K.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Have you fucking heard this?
I checked it out. Yeah, I saw you listen to it and I checked this out. Yeah, I remember it.
Holy fucking shit. So this album is called Devil's Breath. All right. Necrofilth. This album is like the most fun thing. Like, okay, so I think the only place I can really start with it are the vocals. So the lyrics here are the kind of disgusting, perverted, sleazy, nasty bullshit that you would usually get from a brutal death metal album, right? Like it like, so some of the fucking song titles. There's one called Spread the Sleaze. There's one called Volcanic Zit. There's one called Junkie Cunt. Right, like it's the lyrics are willfully horrible, but whereas usually you'd only really get these kinds of things on a brutal death metal album, this guy, where it is influenced by crossover thrash, is he has that kind of punky thrash delivery. Like, he does kind of sound a little bit like the dude from Municipal Waste. I know it's kind of the cheap thing to bring up the crossover, but he kind of does. But he sounds a lot more venomous. He's got a hell of a lot more attitude. He's like nasty, and the way that he delivers these lyrics is just the most fun fucking thing to me that I've come across in the longest time in metal. So there's lots of stuff like oh, her acid dick makes me so fucking hard. I can feel the maggots rising on my dick. It's just, it's hilarious.
And sleazy, it's great. And the riffs on here are also really good. Like, the music is so fucking sick.
No, it's so, I wouldn't call it either, mate, there's definitely a grindcore influence. I guess the main thing you would compare it to is crossover, but the riff style has kind of the chords being played definitely have like an old school death metal feel to them, but it's not death metal. It's a very hard fucking band, very hard album to categorize. Like, I can't really put it into one specific thing, but it's like crossover thrash, but with the nastiness of like old school, just extreme metal, and like I almost kind of want to call it just metal punk, as much as that isn't a fucking term.
Yeah.
It's kind of got like a metal, it's like metal punk, but with like real extreme metal nastiness. With like, but done for fun if you're a wrong'un, right?
Yeah.
So there's like the fucking vocals on this are just so good. Like, it's so quotable. Like, I can't even get past it. Like, it's just unfucking believable. It's so energetic. It's really short. There's some serious fucking riffery going on as well. But yeah, I just implore you to fucking go to your streaming service and listen to just some of the outrageous shit this guy says. Because he's got a brilliant vocal delivery. He's really easy to understand, so you can just make out everything. Like, it's so obviously done for the love of having a great time, but at the same time, there are certain people I would not play this fucking album around. Like, not at all. Like, some of the lyrics are disgusting. Like, Junkie Cunt, which I think is my favorite song on the album. Junkie Cunt would offend people. There are some people that song would genuinely piss off because it's, like, you think your daughter's an angel, but she's just a fucking slut.
Oh man,
Oh, I need that junky slit. I need to feel that horrid cunt. It's just, it's amazing. It's
it's the
amazing, mate.
sleaze, bro. It's so good.
It's the sleaziest metal album I've heard, maybe ever. I'm not sure I've heard a sleazier fucking metal album. I think it is the sound of sleaze. Necrofilth is just the perfect fucking like name for this band. They are unfucking real.
Yeah, dude.
I just like it's. I just this album was created not just like it doesn't just scratch and itch. There's this fucking album does something that I haven't heard another album quite do. It occupies its own space. Their second record is pretty good, but it's nowhere near. Like to me, like the second album's pretty good, but this debut is just fucking next level. The musicians in this band, I haven't heard of any of the other fucking bands they've been in, to be honest with you. But I know it is a side project, but it's just one of those things where clearly all these guys coming together with their own individual influences have just created something to me that is magic. Like people go mad about Midnight. I don't know if you've listened to like Midnight or things like it, or like Bone Hunter.
I've heard Midnight, yeah.
Yeah, like, so Midnight and Bone Hunter, where it's like really old school raw type shit. Not that I would compare it entirely, because both of those bands are quite blackened, and this hasn't got a black metal influence. But it's very old school, but it's totally fresh.
Yeah.
Like its approach is real. It reminds me of that era in sort of like the mid to late 80s, where all of these different styles of more extreme metal were kind of coming together, and things hadn't been fully defined yet. So that's where it reminds me of like Midnight or Bone Hunter or a band like that, but it's more from the punky side of things. But it's like I said, I'd call it like metal punk almost, but but with a really like an extreme metal kind of a take on that. It's so fucking good. Like I legitimately, I can't get over it. Like I just listen to some, like how much fun I have with it. I cannot believe how much fun I'm having with the album every time I listen to it.
Yeah.
Like if you enjoy like music for bad people, like that's the vibe. It's music kind of made tongue in cheek, very tongue in cheek, but it's music for if you want to feel like a bit of a wrong'un, but in the most fun way possible. Like spread the sleaze, volcanic zit, fucking a junkie cunt, I'm a degenerate. These are all unbelievable songs. Like I just go listen to the whole thing. I think again, like the previous one, that's also like about 25, 26, 27 minutes. It's under half an hour. You can do the entire thing very quickly. And just, yeah, I can't believe anybody who isn't into metal wouldn't enjoy this. But yeah, definitely take a bit of a pinch of caution, because it's some people will definitely find the lyrical content offensive, but they definitely would. And it's not like with brutal death metal or other kinds of things with more intense fucking vocal deliveries. Like you can't get away from it here, because it's really like
you
can hear
tell what the fuck's going on.
But that's why I love it. Like he's got such a great fucking thing. Weirdly enough, it kind of reminds me in that regard of like Product of Waste, even though it's not comparable at all.
Oh yeah, like, dude, I was just about to mention Product of Waste.
What were you going to say about Product of Waste?
Oh no, I was literally just about to say that like it has that weird metal punk thing, because Product of Waste are hard to call a hardcore band, because they also have all those blast beats where it's like,
yeah,
it's way like metal sounding, and it's
and then, you know, there's a big thrashy element in their music as well.
There is, and as well it's another thing where the vocals are like quite different, because it's what's the guys from Product of Waste accent?
Terry T.
Yeah, what's his fucking accent though?
Well, it's like proper like New Jersey, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, or it might be Boston.
Yeah, I think it's Boston. Like, you know, the vocals are quite fucking different sounding, because his vocals suit hardcore. So, well, hardcore, because it's hard to even call it hardcore as well. It's just like Necrofilth. And so I just wanted to mention Product of Waste, because it is.
Yeah, no, it's a similar thing in terms of the. Like, you know, when you're into like harder metal, like obviously most of the time, unless you're reading the lyric sheet, You know, like the lyrics kind of go over your head. So for me, when I find an album where the lyrical content and the delivery it is so easy to comprehend, but also adds to the fun and the kind of the experience like that, I always really take it very closely. I always becomes a favorite because it's almost like, oh fuck, I can understand what's being said, and there's a real expression in the like. I love it. Like I love being able to hear a vocalist who's both like angry and pissed and extreme in that way, but you can like there's a real like enunciation and expression in terms of the way that it's being put across. Yeah, no, mate, Necrofilth, Devil's Breath, like legitimately, like I can't. I'm obsessed with this fucking album, but it, like. There's no other album that does exactly what it does. Like that's the best way I can put it. Like if you like punk or metal, but you want it delivered in like a disgusting, like extreme metal way, but it's not death metal or black metal or anything like that. It's like almost like the attitude of it being nasty, but it's punky. It's fucking brilliant. Absolutely fucking brilliant. Like 10 out of fucking 10 album for me. 10 out of fucking 10. Like I wish for their next album they went back to what they were doing here, because I just think it's fucking like a next level. Like absolutely so good.
Yeah.
Fucking yes, mate. That
has been our return.
It has been too long. Been too long.
Been
you know.
Too long.
I'll tell you what, before we go, what's your bean intake been like? How many beans you been eating?
Fucking hell. Obviously, less than in lockdown because I was at school. But now that I'm finished with school, I can intake so many beans. But my bean intake.
And I'm not just talking fucking baked beans. I'm talking beans of all descriptions.
Oh, dude, more than enough. More than enough beans.
You're full of beans. Oh, dude, absolutely full of them. Mate,
where else am I going to get my nutrients and proteins and shit, man? Like,
right. Okay. So, like I was saying, I had a big old baked bean fail the other day, right? I bought a 6 fucking pack of baked beans, as you do, because you know I'm a beanie boy. I need my beans, and then I realised when I got home they were the sugar-free baked beans. No added sugar. Have you ever had these?
No, I've never had sugar-free baked beans from what?
Literally, like, you know how like half the reason baked beans are good is because the sauce has that kind of sweet tanginess.
Sweet taste, yeah.
Imagine no sweet tanginess is fucked. Like I still have them. I can't be asked to throw them away. I'm waiting till points at which I'm drunk enough. I don't give a shit. I'll just eat them anyway. But
oh, don't kill me.
Yeah, I know, and well, that's the thing. They're long lasting. You know, they don't spoil for a very fucking long time. But yeah, that's been my bean history since the last time that we beaned together. But I do believe it has been very successul today. This has been a good
hopefully it has. And hopefully my computer can store all these. Otherwise, I'll just wait till I get a hard drive.
Yeah, no, it should be good. I don't envy you having to edit all this shit together.
Oh, thank you for. But, you know.
I'll tell you what. No, I will write the descriptions for the video because I'm pretty good at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
we can that way.
Yeah.
Nice. Right then, boys and girls. All right. If anybody's actually made it to this end of the podcast, thank you very much. Like you're actually still watching. Clearly, you're cool. You're like one of like 2 people. Sound, love you. Give us a like, comment, and subscribe because we're whores. You know, fucking tell your friends if they want to get beaned. Then they know where the beans are. They're right fucking here.
They know that we're right here. And we're diversified. You never know. Maybe at some point we'll talk about something that isn't even in the rock realm.
No, at some point, I guarantee we'll be talking about fucking Charlie XCX or some shit.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Dude, if I'm ever put one not a metal album in like some of my favorite albums, it's gonna be Lil Ugly Mane with what's it fucking called? It's the Thug Isolation. The Thug Isolation.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, like once we've done the screamo ones, that might be a good fucking. We can talk about some hip hop. I'll be up for talking about some hip hop.
Yeah, you've got way
You
more than
know,
me. You can
yeah, no,
go ahead.
In fact, fuck it. Fucking after the screamo one, I'm getting you into hip hop. I'm giving you 5 hip hop albums, and then we're
I
doing
don't really
that.
like hip hop. Just give me some that I haven't heard. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been listening to hip hop since I was 16, so you're cool.
Yeah.
I'll give you some good shit. Trust me.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Now, cool. You've heard us fucking beam. You've heard us
You've
talk
got to
about
talk
some
about some
fucking good
fucking
music.
albums.
And you've heard us fucking plan
Title.
our episode. Come on now. Right then. I love the lot of you, my little beans. Like, comment, and subscribe. Go to all of our socials. It's all there.
Yeah.
Like our personal socials. Message me if you want to talk about anything like music related. Message him if you want to talk about anything, or don't. Who fucking cares? Peace out, you little bean wads. Love ya.
Bean fucks. All right.
Yeah. What do we always end it with? Bean? 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 Bean?
Bean.
Bean?